Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. God bless everybody that is watching. Thank you, and thank you for joining in. Share this live feed, like the video, share the video, like the video. Wow, breaking news now that it has been just moments ago. They just released this statement, and it is just incredible what they just released. For us, it's just incredible what they just did. But in a way, I can tell you, for me, it's not shocking. We have informed like nobody else in the part of Central America, South America, the Darien Gap. I have documented more than 11 caravans. You have to be kidding me. I said this to the American population. There's a lot of bad people coming infiltrated in these caravans, and we were the first ones to report on the Tren de Aragua infiltrated on 2021 on a caravan, and nobody put attention to it until you got an aggravated problem. This article was just released right now, and information is just released, and a lot of people are talking about this, what is just recently happening. And the Washington Times just released this. It's unbelievable. They said 15,000 killers, 20,000 sexual assault convicts, 60,000 robbers among illegal immigrants at large. This is the statement of the Washington Times. You had to be kidding me. It's a leftist newspaper, leftist tabloid, leftist information, whatever outlet you want to come. And this is what they just released. Now, this adding to the fact that what just was discovered in Colombia, that I will get right into that, Hezbollah increases evidence that they are present in Colombia. Among the terrorist watch list people that they have been discovered, now you have you got Hezbollah individuals present in Colombia. But let's just get this to the article. This is breaking right now. The article of the Washington Times says 15,000 killers, 20,000 sexual assault convicts, 60,000 robbers among illegal immigrants at large. The article was released by Stephen Dinan of the Washington Times on Friday, September 27, 2024. Today says Homeland Security knows at least 660,000 illegal immigrants at large in the U.S. with criminal records, including 13,000 convicted killers, nearly 16,000 sex assault convicts, and 56,000 involved with dangerous drugs. Thousands more migrants have been charged but not yet convicted of those and other crimes. They are part of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement so-called non-detained docket, a list of more than 7 million unauthorized immigrants that ICE supposed to be monitoring as they roam free in the U.S. The article still adds this, says ICE provided the data to Congress at the House of the Homeland Security Committee release on Friday, just as Vice President Kamala Harris was to set land in Arizona for her first visit to the border in more than 3 years. And they quoted, "It may be shocking to hear that the Biden-Harris administration is actively releasing tens of thousands of criminal illegal aliens into our communities, but their own numbers conclusively prove this to be the case." Representative Mark Green, chairman of the committee. Former President Donald Trump on social media said the new data should force Ms. Harris to cancel her border appearance. Quote unquote, Kamala should immediately cancel news conference because it was just revealed that 13,000 convicted murderers entered the country during their 3.5-year period as the border czar, he said. A mother of a murder of victims scolds Biden's Harris for silencing about illegal immigration crime. Immigration disaster, 75% of women, 25% of children victimized and exploited under the Harris-Biden other border scandal. 320,000 migrant children are missing. In reality, they came over a course of decades. I said that of July 21st, 435,719 migrants on its docket had criminal convictions and 26,847 have unresolved criminal charges. That included 13,099 people convicted of homicide and 1,845 pending of homicide charges. It also included 6,567 migrants convicted of obstructing the police, 10,031 convicted of robbery, 15,811 convicted of sexual assault, 13,423 convicted of weapon offenses, 56,533 convicted of involvement with dangerous drugs, 62,231 convicted of assault, 2,521 convicted of kidnapping, and 792 convicted of arson. Holy moly, man. We told you. We said this to you years ago. And we were accused of fearmongers, creating hysteria, conspiracy theories, white supremacists, white bootlickers, xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronoun-phobic, fat-phobic. We were accused of being racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, betrayers to our own country, and sellouts. We said this to you. And it is not betraying and talking about our people, our Latino people. We said we need security in our own borders. This is not even about the United States border. It's about every border which they come about. There's a lot of good people coming. But I have said this multiple times. There's a lot of bad people infiltrated. I have walked with these people so many times. We have been in the middle of the Darien Gap when we have seen individuals that these individuals are not good. These individuals are not supposed to be in no other land migrating freely because they have past convictions that they need to be in a filter. They need to be vetted. And if they are vetted, they need to be screened. This is why the ACLU in the United States of America stopped every leftist organization, progressive mercenary leftist organization. You got more than 320,000. Video is buffering a lot. I'm sorry. It's my internet. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. I'm trying to do the best that I can. I apologize for that. But let me just tell you, you got more than 320,000 children missing. Plus, you have this. Holy cow. Plus, you have this. So you add the 320,000 children that they're missing. That, by the way, under the Trump administration, he wanted to put a DNA test on these parents that they were moving adults. And he got accused by the ACLU of massive abuse and violation of human rights. And when you have that, you stop doing the DNA testing, but you have more than 320,000 children now infiltrated that nobody knows where they are at. But now this is not creating hysteria like these leftists say. I'm going to read again the article. It was just released today. 15,000 killers, 20,000 sexual assault convicts, 60,000 robbers among illegal immigrants at large. Homeland Security knows that at least 660,000 illegal immigrants at large and in the U.S. with criminal records, including 13,000 convicted killers, nearly 16,000 sex assault convicts, and 56,000 involved with dangerous drugs. If you go to the statistics, it's just ridiculous. The numbers are just absolutely ludicrous. Look at the numbers right here. It says, I said that at least from July 21st till now, 435,719 migrants on its docket had criminal convictions. 26,847 have unresolved criminal charges. Then you go more. That included 13,099 people convicted of homicide, 1,845 with pending homicide charges. It also included 6,567 migrants convicted of obstructing the police, 10,031 convicted of robbery, 15,811 convicted of sexual assault, 13,423 convicted of weapons and offenses, 56,533 convicted of involvement with dangerous drugs, 62,231 convicted of assault, 2,521 convicted of kidnapping, and 792 convicted of arson. This is your open border policies. This is the global compact of migration. This is the United Nations having control of your borders. This is why you have to get out of the global compact on migration. This is why you need to cut the funding to the UN. This is why you need to cut the funding to these NGOs that they're profiting and making millions out of human misery and human vulnerability and out of crime. This is why you have to audit all these NGOs. This is because when you need to audit all these NGOs and the ones that they're found guilty, you need to prosecute these NGOs and hold them for treason. This is the reality of your border. There is no lie about it. This just came out. This article just came out. It's all over the place. Plus, adding the fact that you have more than 320,000 children that they're missing. Jesus. Bad. Really bad. We have documented like nobody else South America and Central America. What happens at the U.S. border is a different ball game. It's a ball game that everybody knows. But really what happens in Central and South America, the way that it's being pushed is the epicenter of this. And it is pushed all the way to the U.S. borders. Push. A lot of people say, Oscar, why don't you go to these places where there's cartel activity? If you want me dead, let me just go over there and just broadcast. It is so much different than being in the U.S. Way more different. It's unbelievable, the aggravating thing about this. But the amount of people that the U.S. has let in without no betting, without knowing. And you know what? Let me just tell you. After Ted Cruz confronted Alejandro Mayorkas in Congress, everybody thought that Alejandro Mayorkas was going to get fired. Everybody thought that. But he never got fired. And he never got actually removed from his position. The evidence was so clear. Alejandro Mayorkas has been the worst, by far, Homeland Security officer in charge of the United States of America in history. And this is proof of it. You can ask him how many terrorists have come through your border. Just when I was in Israel, they released a statement of a Palestinian entering that he was in a terrorist watch list, that he was detained for past implications with creation of explosives and also possession of artillery. Let me just read you this article that it was just released on our website, but ultimately it's on all over South America and nobody is talking about it because this involves the Biden administration also. What it says right here in the title, it is unbelievable for everybody to understand what is at stake. It is not only individuals that they have bad records, but also individuals that they're part of terrorist organizations that they're potentially moving to the United States of America. The most aggravating thing about this is that we have asked several governments, is the United States vulnerable right now from the inside? And everybody says they are extremely vulnerable right now to get attacked by the inside. This article is all over South America and nobody's talking about it in the North because it's not important. Hezbollah, it says here, Hezbollah increases evidence of terrorist group operating in where? In Colombia. Colombia, I just told you just a couple of days ago, they just dismantled an organization of an organized group, making fake IDs and fake entities to move them to the North America and to Europe. Not only that, it was discovered just recently, and it was put out by the Intelligence Department of the United States of America, that the Clan de Golfo cartel that operates in Colombia, that is the one that is smuggling by the hundreds of thousands into the Darien Gap and into Central America, into the United States of America. Not only that, they are in cahoots with the Mexican cartel, Sinaloa cartel. But now you have Hezbollah present in Colombia, where the president, Petro, is a mercenary Marxist. And now it is evident. Look at the article, what it says. It says Hezbollah, also written as Hezbollah, literally translated Party of God. Sources confirmed to Blue Radio in Colombia that there was an intention to negotiate pre-agreement with a Colombian Lebanese citizen who was captured in Cucuta, that is the border with Venezuela, for allegedly financing the terrorist group Hezbollah. According to the information provided by Colombian authorities and confirmed by the Major Ronnie Kaplan, spokesman for the Israel Defense Forces, this subject, one guy, has been linked to Hezbollah for financing operations through the illegal trade of charcoal. According to Major Kaplan, he stressed the importance of his capture, indicating that Hezbollah activity in Latin America, especially in Colombia, in a reason to be alert to regional security, although Israel is not directly involved to capture Kaplan, indicated that the presence of figure related to Hezbollah Colombian, it is an indication of growing influence this group in the region, which seeks financing in countries such as Colombia through drug trafficking and other illicit activities. Major Kaplan commented in an interview with Blue Radio. The recent capture of the Colombian Lebanese citizen as the name of Mahdi Akil Helbawi, alias Jonathan, or the boss in Colombia, was arrested in Cucuta, norte de Santander, that we were at that border, Ben Berquam and myself, during a joint operation of Attorney General's Office of Division of the National Police. He was charged with crimes money laundering, illicit enrichment, and exploitation of natural resources. The investigation revealed that Helbawi was involved in illegal production and export charcoal from La Guajira to several countries in the Middle East, including Lebanon. It has been exposed worrying connections between terrorist organization Hezbollah and illicit activities in the country. It's happening in South America. The presence of Hezbollah, it is in South America now. And it is clearly moving forward into Central America and North America. You have had people entering into the United States of America under the terrorist watch list, which the Biden administration has been completely incompetent to release and to say these individuals belong to these kind of terrorist organizations. Why they don't want to say it? Because it is bad for their reputation. It is bad for elections, and it is going to look really bad for them to win an election. There has been several individuals who have been caught in the borders limitations between Mexico and the United States, which they are linked to terrorist organizations. And the Biden administration has been completely blindsided to release on which terrorist organization they belong to. Why they don't want to release it, it is clear and it is obvious. They don't want to, because if they do, they will lose the election. They will lose the populist vote with all entities, because they are letting in people that they are on the terrorist watch list and they belong to terrorist organizations, which how different it is from letting people into the country like this article of the Washington Times that it says right now it is estimated 15,000 killers, 20,000 sexual assault convicts, 60,000 robbers among illegal immigrants at large. who has entered into the United States of America. And the most aggravating thing about it is what I just read to you. The statistics are just ridiculous. I said that of July 21st, 435,719 migrants on its docket had criminal convictions, and 26,847 had unresolved criminal charges. That included 13,099 people convicted of homicide, 1,845 with pending homicide charges, pending. It also included 6,567 migrants convicted of obstructing the police, 10,031 convicted of robbery, 15,811 convicted of sexual assault, 13,423 convicted of weapons and offenses, 56,533 convicted of involvement with dangerous drugs, 62,231 convicted of assault, 2,521 convicted of kidnapping, and 792 convicted of arson. Jeez. Whew. My God. Who do you have in your country, United States? Who do you have in your country? This is your open border policies. Then you have Kamala Harris going to the border today or tomorrow. Oh, I don't even know where. Well, I don't even know what. Well, I don't even know when. I don't even know why the purpose of going to the border. She has been lying about the border since the start. She never visited the border. She said that she was going to visit the Guatemala border. She went to the governmental palace to sit down and eat expensive food with President Giammattei and tell everybody, do not come, do not come. Then she supposedly visited the border and miles away from the border. Now she wants to go to Douglas after 3 years. 3 freaking years to visit one of the epicenters in crisis at the border and to surely try to see and talk and to address the situation and to say, we're going to fix it. No, you're not. You already created a problem. And it is going to be a massive problem to reconstruct this, to rebuild this, to rebuild security, to clean up the house, to clean up the states, to clean up the cities, to clean up. It's going to be a massive operation. And it is going to be categorized by the progressive liberals that this is inhuman, that this is a complete violation of a human right, that this is xenophobic, that, the next administration doesn't like migrants, that the Republicans hate migrants. It is going to be categorized like that, and that this is demonizing the people, and now the migrants are all over, they're all over the place, and they're afraid, and they're creating hysteria, and they're creating just, hate, a hatred campaign against migrants. This is not a hatred campaign against migrants. Even all migrants themselves, they say that this is wrong. Only the leftist media and the leftist Hispanic media are the only ones that they go with this narrative to pander, to victimize, to romanticize the migration. And when you victimize and romanticize the migration, you have this problem. Migrants are running away from this problem. And you're bringing this problem to the first-class world country without no vetting, without no security, without no filter. And I have said this multiple times before to everybody that is watching. The United Nations is the #1 entity, international organization that needs to be held accountable for crimes against humanity. This is the organization that immediately the United States of America, after the next administration, whoever it is, God forbid that it's Kamala Harris, needs to cut the funding to these NGOs. More than 320,000 children are missing. It's a lot. You almost go into 500,000 children. A lot of trafficking of humans, a lot of trafficking of women. And now you have this new statistic that it was released by the Washington Times. We have walked more than 11 caravans under the Biden administration. 11. And those are just the ones that I didn't go because I was traveling all over somewhere else. But I should have walked more than that. 15, 20 in Guatemala, in Honduras, in Nicaragua, in Costa Rica. We know the reality of this. The other side that nobody wants to talk about it in places in Central and South America, because we're considered to be sellouts. We're considered to be racist to our own people. My God, this is not being racist against your own people. Look at this. How you're going to admit these kind of individuals. Why? This should be not allowed. This is a migration that is not profitable to any country. It is not profitable to any country. Why are you bringing these people? And plus, just recently, the Republicans wanted to put a bill and a policy that it was going to be passed to convict those people and to incarcerate those people and to deport these people that they are illicitly and illegally being in the United States of America, who were going to commit the crime of rape, abuse, or sex assault. Guess who voted against it? 158 Democrats voted against this bill to be passed. Why? Because it's against their human rights for these people to be deported and returned back. Because we are complicating their lives and we don't know where they're going to go and they're not going to be accepted and we're putting their lives at risk. So these people, that they commit sex assault or they commit rape, that they're illicitly and illegally in the country, they're going to be incarcerated and then be released again into population? You got to be kidding me with this, right? You have to be kidding me. It's not a joke. It is actually happening in the United States. The world and in the United States of America right now, it is so upside down. It is so completely upside down. It is completely different of what the United States of America used to be standing for. And I just inform you right now, there's presence of individuals of Hezbollah in Colombia. Just 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was in Israel when it was reported a Palestinian that it was in a terrorist watch list, crossed through Santa Teresa, New Mexico, and it was caught. Reported that he had background of creating explosives, arson, and artillery. This was his background. The guy has a bad background. We don't know if this guy has already been released. We don't know if he's detained. Nobody has released an informative report on this. Department of Homeland Security has not talked about this guy, and they have watered down this news. Why they have watered down this news? Because we know that I have been in Israel a couple of times covering the war. You know that Hezbollah has money, but Hamas does not have that amount of money as Hezbollah. So we know which kind of organizations this guy belongs to. If he migrated to Spain and to Central America, to South America, migrated through the Darien, crossed the Darien, this guy's running away because he committed something. And he wanted to hide in the United States, and possibly later on, we don't know what he was trying to do or cause. But why the Biden administration or the Department of Homeland Security, why they haven't released a statement of which entity or which terrorist organization this guy belongs to? Why? Because they don't want to. Because if they release that, ladies and gentlemen, this will cause a harm on the Biden-Harris administration immediately. And they will fail on immigration, and they will fail on their policies. And this is clearly going to be just to say, last nail on the coffin. You're done. You're letting in people without being vetted, and everybody knows this. And now with this statement of the Washington Times, everybody now knows. It clearly knows what kind of individuals have been coming in through the border. Multiple times it has been reported by our network, Real America's Voice News, how they are smuggling then wearing camouflage. A lot of these people that they wear camouflage is because they don't want to get caught, and they want to be, they want to be smuggled through places where, it's 100% secure and sure that they're going to cross. But some of them, they get camouflage because they're carrying backpacks, which they're carrying drugs and crossing through illicit places and non-ports of entry. Or some of them, they just don't want to be discovered because they have committed a crime. This happens a lot in Arizona. In Arizona, you have an influx of people that they have crossed, convicted sex offenders, convicted felons of all kinds, that they have been discovered and stopped. And Arizona has the most highest level of people through the border of Sonora, of people that they have been crossing on the terrorist watch list. These are all blue states, which they know the massive operation of illegal migration and ultimately trafficking migration into the United States of America. I don't know what they are going to do strategically to find these people that they have already been released into the United States. I don't know what strategy they're going to be used. But I'm going to tell you something. To you, the border czar, Kamala Harris, if you appear to go to Douglas, you're the most cynical, sinvergüenza vice president in history. You don't have no shame to be standing in the border of Douglas and to be talking about border security. I hope that every border patrol stands in front of you and turns his back, because you have stepped on all the values of border security. And not only that, many people have died under your administration. Is the administration where more migrants have died between Mexico and the United States, is where you have incentivized the cartel to grow massively, 200%. That cartel has more power now, more technology. They have grown so much in empowerment of economy. They're so empowered right now that they're trafficking people in Colombia all the way from Turkey, from Asia, from China to Turkey to Ecuador, from Ecuador to Colombia, pass them through the Darien. You have a tourist package that will take them all the way to one border, and they know which border already. They already been arranged. They already paid a package of $20,000 to $35,000. It is a reality. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is not creating hysteria. It is not lies. It is not fear mongering. It's not CIA propaganda. Stop with your stupidity language. This is what you wanted. How are you going to fix it? And the problem is, I have said this multiple times when I'm in the broadcast, when I'm in the war room, when I'm with every single presenter of Real America's Voice News. I have said this multiple times. The collateral damage that the Biden administration has caused to Central and South America, it is irreparable. Why I said this? Because you have a market. The United States of America is the number one market for the cartel. They want to go to this place. So they know, the cartel knows that this is the market. This is where they have to make money. So you create an industry. If this market, the United States of America, had border security, this industry could not be non-existent, but it could be non-powerful, like it is right now. There's a war right now in Culiacán, Sinaloa, with the cartel. Do you know what the Mexican president, cynical Mexican president, said the other day? There's a war right now between cartels, right now in Colombia, in Culiacán, Sinaloa. The cynical president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, said this: we need to let them arrange their problems. But also the cartel needs to understand, these people, he said, that they need to be conscious that they are complicating their lives of their own citizens in their own country. You're talking about the cartel. This is not average citizens. These are sicarios. They are made and built to kill. Not only that, he said to El Señor Zambada, to the Mr. Sir Zambada, who just captured and is in the United States of America, that is considered to be the kingpin of cartels in Mexico. He called him sir. This is the president. Then you go to statements of the military in Culiacán. A journalist asked the military of Culiacán, when are you going to arrange this? And the military said, we are waiting for them to arrange themselves because this is their problem. I'm just listening. This is the military of Mexico, for God's sake. This is the military of Mexico saying to us, we are going to wait for them to arrange their problems. You can find these statements all over the place. And the journalist interrupt them. And he said, like, whoa. So we have to wait for them? And he said, yes, they're the ones that they're causing these problems, and it's not us. Who has the security of our country then? Cynical liars. Just say that the cartel is the one that has the security and the power of Mexico. Just for us to understand, like, well, we don't have a government, we don't have a militia, we don't have a military. They're governed by the cartel. And this, people, this has it has a domino effect. Why? Because the market is the United States of America. And when you have a market that has a lot of people, when you have a market that has grown so much in the United States of America, the cartel grows a lot. There's a comment right here which I like to address. Why do you hate your own people so much? I love my own people. I was born and raised in Mexico. I'm a migrant myself, and I believe migration is a human right, but in those human rights, there are laws and there are processes that you need to obey. It is really worth all the coffees. Thank you so much. God bless you, really. And, you know, sometimes when I get these kind of comments, there are progressive, mercenary, white liberals that they're commentating on a minority, like these Democrats say that I am a minority, a brown Mexican, that I was born and raised over here. They don't like, and they started hating on me and attacking on me because there was a Mexican that know how to speak English and tell the things all the way opposite as them. Because this kind of comment, it goes, if I was part of this box, and I will tell you, if I was part of the box that says, you know, you want to be my friend, you want to high five and belong to our group, so you got to be pro-Palestine first and foremost. You got to be pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah. You got to be pro-abortion. You got to, there's no gender. You know, 5-10-year-olds, they are allowed to change their gender and they're allowed to just, you know, let them free. Transgenderism, it is okay. You know, it's all about Christian imperialism. It's all about white supremacy, white imperialism. It's all about their conspiracy theories. They're creating hysteria. They're fear mongers. They're white supremacists. And it's all about the white supremacy. And it's all about them being xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pornophobic, fatphobic. It's all about them being racist. It's all about them being fascist. It's all about them being narcissists. It's all about them being bigot. And it is from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. If you come with all these statements, and if you're part of this bubble, you will not be signalized as this. Why do you hate your people so much? That is the next argument. That is the white liberal, how they use us. If you do not follow what we say, we will signalize you as betrayer of your own people and a sellout. And they will propaganda all of that and label you as you're a sellout to your own people because you are the opposite of what you believe in. So for them, there's no freedom of speech. The freedom of speech, it is signalized to say what they want you to believe. And if you believe completely the opposite, that you don't agree with this Latinx, this stupidity, you're a sellout. You're hating your own people. And these are the white liberals that they're telling a minority, or they're telling a Mexican what to believe and what not to believe. I'm sorry. English is my second language. It's not my first language, as you guys can see. I don't speak English. I try to speak English as much as I can and socialize in English as much as I can. But the majority, and there's a lot of Mexicans that we believe exactly the same way that I'm thinking. It's really, it is. When you have walk what I have walk, when you have walk 4 times a Darian, and put your shoes in my shoes, when you have carry children almost drowning, migrant children, carry women with their broken foot, broken legs, carry men also, take money out of your own pocket and give this to people, to feed them, to just give them comfort. See decomposed bodies of our people lying on the floor because of your open border policies and you guys living out of our misery just for votes and political measures. When you have walk and documented more than 11 caravans, you can talk to me and sit down on the same chair. At the same time, when you're commentating this kind of stupidity, it just makes me understand that there's really stupid, incompetent people out there. That they just sit in on their comfort of their own home, with their capitalist laptop, in their capitalist iPhone, in their capitalist apartment, with their capitalist car outside in the capitalist parking lot, going into their capitalist job that possibly he or she doesn't have, paying their capitalist rent, with their capitalist car, with their capitalist insurance, having a capitalist life, but still sitting down and being the big guy and saying why you hate your own people when this is a cruel reality what we're living. Nobody wants this problem. Nobody. The best president of the world is Nayib Bukele. He doesn't want this problem. The president of Argentina, Javier Milei, he doesn't want this problem. The president of Mexico, really, although he's a leftist, he doesn't want this problem. President of Costa Rica doesn't want this problem. President of Honduras doesn't want this problem. President of Nicaragua doesn't want this problem. President of Guatemala doesn't want this problem. President of the Republican Dominican doesn't want this problem. President of Costa Rica doesn't want this problem. President of Panama doesn't want this problem. President of Colombia doesn't want this problem. But in the United States, it is okay to have this problem. Let me just explain something also that is happening. Something that is also happening. A lot of the migration that is going right now to the south of the American country into Brazil, where Lula, that is a leftist president, a commie leftist president, he's asking migrants to be vaccinated. He's asking for 5 vaccines. If you have these 5 vaccines, I will let you in. If you don't, I will not let you in. It is because it is a business. You know, the pharmaceutical company, they're involved. So now it's like, hey, get them vaccine because we need money. And with that money, we can this. So he's asking for yellow fever vaccine, triple B, hepatitis B, COVID, and tetanus. So migrants that are coming into the border of Pacaraima in Brazil, they're being vaccinated with 5 vaccines. And you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people. It is reported that weekly they're getting 12,500 people in the border of Pacaraima, Brazil, that they're migrating right now from Venezuela over there. And you're talking about massive numbers of migrants, Ecuadorians, Colombians, that they're using as a jump rope. They're using Venezuela. Why? In the United States of America, when they were asking for DNA testing for children, unaccompanied minors that they were transported by an adult. Why this is racist and fascist? When in Brazil, for you to enter a country, you need to get vaccinated with 5 vaccines. Why? Is it not denigrating individuals? Why would happen? And I will ask this to the American audience right now. What would happen if the United States of America takes these measures? Takes these measures to vaccinate people in their borders. I'm asking this. If the next administration of the United States of America, whatever administration, takes these measures to say, if you want to come in, you need to be vaccinated with these 5 shots. If not, you're not going to be allowed. What do you think it would happen? How do you think that the United States of America will be categorized? How do you think? Immediately, they will categorize the United States of America as a being racist, as a fascist, as violating the human rights of people. And why are you forcing these vaccines on these people? But in Brazil, you have Lula, that is actually a leftist commie that is profiting out of vaccines, that is making a business out of these vaccines, and is actually enforcing the vaccine on individuals that are migrating from Venezuela to the south. That is a lot of people. I've said this multiple times. There's a lot of good people migrating, a lot of good people. I have walked with doctors, lawyers, teachers, entrepreneurs, models, all kinds of people. They're really good people, but there's a lot of bad people in these large groups. And this statement for this troll that it was right here, how are you going to justify this? Or you're going to say that this is false information, or you're going to say that this is creating hysteria, or you're going to say that this is CIA propaganda, which one it is, or you're going to say that this is white supremacy, or you're going to say that this has created a hatred campaign against migrants, which is not. This is the reality of why there needs to be a filter and why there needs to be legal migration at every border. We are all allowed to have our human right to migrate. But in those human rights, we need to obey a law and obey a process. And that is a reality. Whoever does not understand that is clearly living on another world. And this is the world that you live in. I'm just saying. Unbelievable. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. Shush, this news that it was just released. Bish, my God. The numbers, man, it's all over the place. Everybody's talking about it. Fox News talking about it. Even the Washington Times is talking about it. So to these trolls and these leftists, even the leftists, they're being kicked in their own butts right now. You know why? Because even CNN, even MSNBC, even all the leftist tabloids or leftist informative networks or informative outlets, let me just say it like that, they are speaking about that this is a catastrophe, this is a crisis. There's no other way to explain it. You know, why you're lying? Why you want to lie about it? You have created this crisis. You gave the power of the borders to your United Nations friend, George Soros. And he has been the one that it has given the power to his proxies, that is the NGOs. And the proxies NGOs are making a bunch of money, man, making a killing out of federal grants. There's some NGOs that they're getting their tax return of more than $5 million. You have to be kidding me. Out of the American taxpayer. Out of these Congress people like Chuck Schumer allowing these federal grants to continue. Don't worry, I'll sign it. How much they need? $5 million. Let it loose. Out of the American taxpayer. It is not a lie. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll read your comments right now. Buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat. If people want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, we are going to be traveling soon to the borders. We're going to be traveling soon through the borders of Mexico with the United States in our territory in Mexico. There's a comment right here. Says Terry Katz. Oscar Nasrallah might have been killed by the IDF. Speculation, but let's just confirm later on. I will ask Chuck Colton for those kind of updates. The best war correspondent out there, it is Chuck Colton. So go ahead and try to find him. Go to the Chuck Colton hot zone, the hot zone with Chuck Colton. I will message him right now and I'll tell him, hey Chuck, did Nasrallah really died or got attacked by the IDF? I really don't think so, but if that is a speculation, let's see what comes out of it. I was in Israel a couple of 3 to 4 weeks ago, almost, that I was in Israel. I was in the border with Lebanon, as a matter of fact. And there's a lot of misinformation that says, oh, why are you pro-Israel, Oscar? Why are you this? Why are you that? I'm pro-truth. That's what I am. And I'm pro-Jesus, first and foremost. It's in Israel, these Jews, and like Israel is not full with Jewish people. Israel is full with Christians. It's full with also Muslims. It's full with all kinds of people. Why you're discriminating all people? You just want the eradication and elimination of Israel. That's what you want. And that is, basically, that is the eradication of all humankind that live in Israel. It's not Jewish people. It's a lot of the Christian. There's a Christian population in Israel. It's huge. What are you talking about? I was just in the border with Lebanon, and I received a comment the other day about a migrant talking to me and saying, "Oh, why you're pro this, pro that?" I got a family member that is Lebanese, and they have been going through a lot, and you don't know what they have been gone through. Excuse me, I just went to the border of Jish, to Kiryat Shimona, and also to the border of Malkiah, a kibbutz, and it was every day attacked by Hezbollah. attacked by Hezbollah every day. Every freaking day. Attacked by Hezbollah every day. Rockets, drones, rockets, drones, rockets, drones every freaking day. 30 to 35 in Norton, Galilee. Every day. It's a comment right here. I'm not a troll. I'm sorry if my statement came out that way. But why, when Ukrainians were migrating to the USA, you didn't say anything? You said anything. I'm sorry, you're just coming in. I was in the border with San Isidro, right there also. It only seems to bother you when they're Hispanic. I'm Hispanic. What the hell are you talking about? This is a big, big progressive liberal, white liberal. I was in the border of San Isidro when the big migrant camp of Ukrainians landed. And we talked about it. We talked about how the Ukrainians were really organized in the migrant camp. They were not disorganized. They were not, they had, they had trash cans. They were really organized because it's a different economy. They had money. When it comes to our population and when it comes to our people migrating, we don't have money. It's really bad, and it's really sad. And it's really sad that you kind of people, progressive liberals, and the Democrats and the leftists are using us for your political gain and votes, and lying to us that you're going to document 11 million undocumented individuals, that you're going to create a better pathway for migrants. You lied to that. You Democratic liberals, that you believe that Barack Obama was a solution to the world. He was the deporter-in-chief of us Latinos. He was the guy that created more private prisons in the history of the United States of America. He was the guy that created more prisons for children. He was the guy that gave so many billions to Iran. He was the guy that created this massive war of Fast and the Furious in Mexico with the cartels. And you're talking about that it only needs to bother you when you're Hispanic. Stop complicating the lives of us. Stop using us for your political gain and votes. You leftist, progressive, mercenary activists. Stop using us for your political hatred. Because you come over here and you say, oh, it's the Republicans, it is them, it's the conservatives, it is the Christians, it is them, it is them, it is them. You're mocking, you're using us to mock. We are not born like you. Our values in Latinos, first and foremost, let me let you know, we're capitalists by nature. We go out there and we get it. Whatever it is, if we don't have money, we sell, we look, we do whatever it is. Number one. Number two, we're family oriented. Everything we do for family. Every single thing for our grandparents, for our fathers and our mothers, for our wives, for our husbands, for everything, for our children. We do it for family. And third of all, we are people of faith. We believe in Jesus. We believe in God. That's our three values that you, the progressive liberal, wants to destroy with your statements, using us, mocking Jesus, using your progressive liberal agenda to completely contaminate our lives and contaminate our culture and contaminate our customs. We're sick and tired of your agenda bringing it and trying to brainwash us and use us for your political gain and votes. It is not about that. It's about creating legal pathways and better opportunities for our people everywhere. Do you think that it's okay when I have been in the middle of the jungle, which you haven't, because you're possibly sitting down in your comfort of your apartment with your IKEA sofa and watching this on your TV and commenting and be like, ha ha, like that. But in the middle of the jungle right now, there's people actually dying because of your open border policies of Kamala Harris. Cynical Kamala Harris going right now to the border of Douglas. I was standing, let me just tell you a quick story. Me and Ben Berquam, this is on a third journey. Ben was really sick on this journey coming back. And we were standing in the middle of the jungle, and I'm going over there, grabbing children and getting them out of the river. I grabbed possibly 10 children. I was going in there, coming out, and Ben was telling me, Oscar, it's never going to end. I'm like, Ben, he can tell you. I looked at him and I said, Ben, I don't want nobody to die. So I'm going in there and getting them out, And I went a little bit far away from the river at one point. And I started feeling like the worst of the worst because I was looking at a large line of Latino, Hispanic people, of our people, crossing through a river, almost drowning, children, all these horrible things. And I was like, I cannot believe that we have denigrated ourselves because of these politicians, these Democrats, these liberals making us understand that this is okay, that this is the pathway, that this is the road. We have denigrated our people. We have denigrated ourselves to a particular point that we are making ourselves realize that that is okay. And this is all being normalized by you guys, the leftists, the progressive mercenaries. You guys are making this normal for us when we arrive to the United States. And when we arrive to the United States, you guys say, oh, you have been going through a lot. You need a social program. It is the white supremacy that is because of them. It is the Republicans. It is the Border Patrol. It is the United States Customs. It is the Republicans that are blocking the policies for us to help you. We are the ones that we want to help you, not them. Look at all the things that you have gone through. But you never create a policy. What happened to DACA? I just want to ask you a question. Why you haven't legalized DACA recipients? That is a program that you created. When are you going to legalize them? When are you going to give them citizenship? When are you going to give them a pathway to citizenship? Remember, Trump wanted to do that, and you came in and you said, no. Why? 4 years of your administration. Have you legalized those people? I'm hearing crickets. Let me just hold on 1 minute right here. Let me just get something right here. Let me just put something right here. Something. Yes, something right here. Where is it? I think it's this one. Before I go. Okay, it's this one. I just put it again. Just put it again for you. I'm waiting for your response. Because you said that it was going to be a better pathway. Joe Biden said that. My God, who are we believing? A fossil? A cadáver? Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue. Illegal migration has consequences. And not processing people correctly has consequences. The consequences are big. Huge consequence. This would be better if we had a president actually like Nayib Bukele who can create a better opportunity in their own country, eliminate crime, better jobs, happy life. That's it. Venezuela was one of the most richest countries in the world. You know, if that country will have security, it will have a better life. These people will be the most richest people in the world. Whew, this profile, man, goes way back. And I never met you, man. I don't know who you are. But this profile goes way back in 2017, I think so, man. You started watching me. I know profiles from way back. It was 2017? I think it was 2017, man. I think that it was 2017, I think so, that you started watching. This is why he comments. Thank you for reporting this long ago when so few were listening. This profile has been with me For the longest of time, I never knew what's your name. I never asked. I'm not that kind of person. But you have been with me for the longest of time. For the longest of time. I wish I knew what's your name. So I can know if you're a she or a he, because you've been watching me for, what is it, 7 years already? 6, 7 years? Long time, man. Oscar, you're a good man, a real man, and we need you around for a long time. Take care of yourself. We need you. Thank you so much. Thank you. No. This is the way, you were commentating. Calm down. No, this is the way I am. This is the way I have always been. A lot of people say, like, hey, why are you getting all, like, accelerate, Oscar? This is the way I am. Because these is our people, man. This is our people. I'm seeing the epicenter of this. A lot of people say, like, well, when you have the experience, you tell me. Man, shut up. I have the experience. Been there, done that. Really. And I've seen the epicenter of what we are going through, and it is bad. These are bad immigration policies. This is not good at all. Not good at all. Justin Aker, thank you so much. Thank you for all your support. And, Buy Me a Coffee is right there. People want to contribute. I'm planning to move forward real soon, but, the plane fare, the airfare, it is really expensive. And we're trying to get to point A, point B, food and all this kind of things. And, we're trying to do the best that we can. We wanted to go back to Israel, but it's just, man. So we're trying to save up, do the best that we can. The meantime, I'm reporting right here. During the week, possibly I'm going to go to the wall and walk the wall a little bit like I used to, just to get a good hike. I love to walk, get a good hike, but I need to walk with somebody now with the security guard. I cannot do it alone like I used to do it back in the day. When I used to do it back in the day, I was alone, and I used to go alone with my tripod and my phone, and that was it. Go ahead and get it. Now I can't do that. It's just bad, and it's really bad because the security measures, because it is controlled, massively controlled by the organized crime and by people that they're not going to do you. They're not going to be like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. How are you? How's everything going? Are you doing good? Continue to record. Yes, absolutely. Whew. Do I? Man, I need a lot. Yeah, we need a lot. We need some new equipment, camera. We need a lot. We're trying to do the best that we can. Your personality is fine as long as you can chill on your downtime. Stay well. Yeah, I go to boxing. I will stay here for 5 minutes more. I do boxing all the time. I used to be a professional fighter. I did like 8 fights, and that is my my downtime. I go and hit the bag, and that is where I release all the stress. That is where I release everything that I have, all my emotions, all my stress, and all my emotions. Oscar, you're a realist, objective supremacist. Jeez. Gee. Oh my God. Thank you so much, man. Do you check your blood pressure? I had there was a time where I had I think it was one time at the Darien that I felt like my blood pressure was going up. It was there was a kid that I carried, and I had I pinned this story on my X account. There's a kid that I carried for like 8 hours, not 8 hours straight. Like I carried him every once in a while, and it was a story that really hit me, and it's deep in my heart. And I don't know where he is. And it was from Venezuela, from Falcon, Venezuela, and I carried him for 8 hours, 6 to 8. And when I arrived to the migrant camp, I started looking for him and I couldn't find him. And that really, my blood pressure came down because I felt depressed really bad. And when I came home, I was depressed. I don't know if that was a PTSD, but I was depressed. I was in my room. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to go to the gym. I was worried, having some kind of, not nightmares, but I used to wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just worried about where he was at. I had a really deep personal relationship with that kid. Was 11 years of age. Last time that I saw him, I was carrying him out of the river, and he told me, "Can you be my dad just for one day?" And I sure will love to adopt that kid if I could find him. I sure will do it without. I'm sorry, I get emotional sometimes when I remember. I sure do get emotional. I will adopt him. Give him the life that I could in my home, the life that I could, give him a good life. I don't know, give him a good school opportunity, education, nice shoes, some kind of a better life. Those are the things that are really hard to forgive. Those are the things that are really hard to forgive, really hard to forget. Um, really hard. So if you tell me, uh, you know, uh, it's if you tell me what kind of a PTSD I get, that's why I go to the gym every day. I go to the gym every day. I work out. I try to release it. Bad. I go and hit the back like you guys don't even. And I have a good friend of mine, that I always call him when I really want to do some sparring. And when I go and try to do some sparring, I call him and I say like, "Hey man, we need to just go in there and spar." And he says like, "Well, let's just do it for like 3 to 4 rounds." And we just go in there and we just spar. We're like 3 to 4 rounds, and I release everything, man. I release everything. I go in there, we get hit, I get hit, and we spar 3 to 4 rounds, sometimes 6 when I'm in the mood. And I just release all my stress there. It's hard, because that's when I call him in and he's like, "Hey, yeah." He's a former heavyweight contender. He's a big guy. He goes easy on me, because he's big. But when I spar, I go in there with big guys. I don't go in there with same guys of my height or my weight class. That's just being stupid. You need to go in there as a Mexican brawler. We Mexican boxers, we go in there with big guys, and he's a big dude. But when he hits hard. So when I hit him hard, he says like, "Oh, you want to go in there, huh? You want to play with the big guys." So that's my alternative to release stress. That's the way that I release stress all the time. I wish that I can get some ring time with these progressive liberals. Just a little sparring here and there. It'd be good just to play around. What do you guys think? Instead of writing on the chat, what's up? Hit me up. Let's go to the ring. 3 rounds. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. I nickname you the Mexican Little Mountain. That's just so beautiful. Wow, what a nickname, man. I'll tell that. I'll tell that to Chuck. I'll tell that to Chuck. Hey, Mexican Little Mountain, MLM, the Mexican Little Mountain. I'm 5'8", 5'8", but I'm 5'9" on a good day. 5'9" when I'm wearing military boots. That's an advantage. 5'9" wearing military boots. Uh, do you think Nasrallah is dead? It's really debatable. I need to get the information. Why am I? I'm not going to speculate because if I do, it's going to be really bad, and that's really, hardcore information. I cannot go in there and tell you yes, I believe because you're going to. It's. I'm not qualified to say yes or no. I need to go check with Chuck Holton. Go over there to the hot zone with Chuck Holton. He's the best war correspondent. I learned everything about him. Everything that I have learned, it's been covering wars. He's my teacher. So really, for me to say something like that, it's not, it will not be responsible of me as a communicator for you. Have you heard anything more about the Venezuelan gangs that have taken over the apartments? No. The only thing is that they're doing a massive operation to trying to decrease the violence in Colorado. And I believe that they have, done a okay job. So this is another comment. You should not distinguish between our people and those people, because when you know the bigger story, you wouldn't say that. We are one human race. Yes, I do. I understand what you say. I'm a believer in Jesus. Jesus did not have colors. And Jesus taught us all to love each other, independently of which color, entity, border, whatever it is. I'm saying that it is a term that we use as culture term in our country and in our Latin American culture. Nuestra gente. It's a term that we use, and don't get insulted. It has nothing to do with me denigrating another race or me talking bad about another race or me saying, "Oh, we're better than you. We're competing." No, it is a custom term. It's something like a culture between us. It has nothing to do with making us better than somebody else or more important than somebody else. No, we're all exactly the same. We were born exactly the same. We have 2 arms, 2 legs, a mind that we can think, and a heart that we can feel. So we are exactly, in the eyes of God, we are exactly the same. Is the Colorado gang worse than the MS gang? Tren de Aragua gang, the TDA gang, they're different. They're different. Tren de Aragua operates through a prison in Aragua, in Venezuela. And ultimately, they have a number one purpose, that is extortion, with extortion and assault and distribution of drugs, kind of like the same as the MS gang, but they run as a gang. The MS gang runs as a gang. Tren de Aragua, it is also a gang, but it runs more directly with cartel activity. MS gang runs more, directly into rape, gang violence, all these RICO acts that you can consider in the United States of America. It is almost exactly the same, but it's exactly the same as violent. There is violent, as you can consider. Thank you so much, Cat White. That's my Buy Me a Coffee app right there. I am running out of battery in the laptop. Thank you so much for joining in. This has been an informative hour for every single one of you. Hopefully you guys understand everything that we brought to your screen. It is not about attacking. It is about fixing the problem. Every time it's a fixing the problem. If you have a broken car, you try to fix it. And for you to fix it, you need to take it to a mechanic, and the mechanic needs to tell you what it needs to be fixed, and you need to fix it. If not, you're going to continue with the same problem. The United States has a broken car right now, and it has a lot of problems, and they have the right mechanic to fix it, but they need, to fix it. They don't need to just Mickey Mouse the whole thing. You need to fix the problems. It's exactly like that. God bless you all. Stay safe. Buy me a coffee. It is right there. If people want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, it has been a pleasure talking to you guys. God bless you all. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission.